The insurance industry is being buffeted by challenging regulatory, political and economic winds, but while instability has been a mainstay in the US and Europe, the Asia-Pacific region has enjoyed growth in 2012. Joining me to discuss the Asian market and opportunities for foreign investors are Mohan De Alwis and Piyadasa Kudabalage from Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation Limited, World Finance's best insurance company in Sri Lanka for 2012. Mohan, Piyadasa, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, Rick.
Firstly, tell us what's your position in the Sri Lankan market?
Just to answer that, let me start off where Sri Lanka Insurance started. Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation started in January 1962 as a public corporation. Since then, we've come through a long way. In 2002, the corporation was privatized, and back again in 2009, it was reverted to the government. Now, having completed 50 years, Sri Lanka Insurance has become an icon in insurance and a household name. In terms of positioning, Sri Lanka Insurance, or SLIC is better known as, has been the market leader in general insurance and the largest in the composite business, with highest value in asset base and largest capitalization. SLIC also had a good growth in 2011, running into 20%.
You mentioned your asset base. Tell us a little bit more and perhaps some of your key investments.
Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation is holding the biggest asset base in Sri Lanka, and our present asset base stands for $1 billion, and 50% of the investments in risk-free based investments, whereas the balance in diversified sector. So the diversified sectors involve that stock market operations, then investments in various segments which having a potential in the market and the economy, so especially that we enter into acquiring of companies, controlling interests such as leisure sector, then health sector, then energy sector like LPG gas, and this itself give good returns for the company. In turn, this growth of the asset base help us to take more and more risks as an insurer.
What would you say are the fundamentals behind your financial performance?
First thing is our trained workforce, trained and loyal workforce. Over the last 50 years, we have developed people and they've been able to contribute immensely towards the growth of the company. The second one I would say is the brand itself. Sri Lanka Insurance, as I earlier said, it's a household name. So that's been very helpful in getting this across. The economic growth of Sri Lanka, if you take 2010 and 11, we have grown the GDP at 8% and 8.3% respectively. And in 2012, the indications are that we are growing around 7%. So now what all this means is that the different sectors of the GDP growing would mean that it has helped the company to grow and perform better in all sectors, both in life and general. We had a very good year in 2010, going up to 13 billion in rupees profit after tax, following it up with 10 billion rupees in profit after tax in 2011, and we are very hopeful that we'll end the year 2012 with another 10 billion. Already we have clocked up around 6 billion in profits.
You talk about revamping branch operations. This idea of management best practice and good governance increasingly important. So what's your philosophy on CSR and sustainability?
We consider that corporate governance are more important to the industry like insurance, and the insurance industry itself is governed by the regulators, and the regulation compliance we do to the maximum, and sustainability is the considered factor in the insurance industry. So we consider the sustainability is paramount important to us in the insurance industry, so that we take the risk. The risk is associated mostly on environmental impacts now. We take this risk and mitigate it to the maximum with the growth and the asset base of the insurance industry, and we are the biggest asset base, therefore we can hold the risk.
Just to add to that, Nick, on sustainability and CSRs, what we are also looking at is good governance. To this end, we are following the guidelines set up by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and the Securities Exchange Commission, and also the IBSL. We also have got ourselves rated RAM AAA, Fitch AA Sri Lankan, and all of these accolades would mean that we know that we are falling in line with the best practices.
Excellent endorsement from the ratings agencies then.
Yes.
Finally, what are your targets for the next 10 years?
Targets for the next 10 years, we see huge opportunity for both life and general. We also have certain challenges. We are looking at 15 to 20% growth year on year on both sectors. What are these challenges? We also need to separate both life and general. That's a industry regulation. Also, we need to list these companies, not only locally but overseas as well. And we are also looking at positioning certain new products that will come into our market, mainly the retirement products that is well in demand for life.
Piyadasa, Mohan, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.